the beginning, it was quite traumatic for everyone. First of all, because really didn't know what was going on. We only knew that a lot of people were hospitalized, a lot of people were dying. And secondly, of course, because our whole routines changed, like no one except from doctors went to work anymore. Only the supermarkets were open. Actually, I think I would say also quite angry, especially since at the beginning of this whole thing, I was in France. First of all, we're not realizing how difficult the situation was. And second of all, they still think it was like within Italy and it was a problem that would not touch them whatsoever. Whereas, I don't know, I think that Italy is much closer to other European countries than, for example, China is to Italy.
But still, we cannot go outside unless we have a major reason, which is go shopping, go to the doctor, and go running. But if you're not the biggest runner, like I am, then there's pretty much no reason to go outside right now.
Il y a des normes, des règles qui sont au niveau national, mais il y a aussi après des règles au niveau régional. Moi, je me trouve en Campanie, dans le sud, et on peut dire que ici les règles étaient et sont encore aujourd'hui un peu plus strictes par rapport aux autres régions. C'est très important aussi le tourisme et tout ce qui est restaurant, etc. Et là, il y a vraiment des fortes problématiques parce que tu as plein de gens qui ont des problèmes financiers parce que ça fait 2 mois qu'ils ne travaillent plus.
For the government, it's easy to say, you have to stay home, you have to be patient, and this situation will pass. And I agree. But there is a difference from people that are living or live in a big villa or people that are in the flat, because this is not the same thing. We have a lot of things in our culture that are like hug people or maybe just hang out for aperitivo or whatever. We are more like Latino-based population. So it's difficult for us because it's kind of isolation.
A lockdown was finally announced in northern Italy on the 8th of March. I was actually in France, in Montpellier, doing an internship for my PhD. It hit me quite hard as well. Also because starting from that day, I was supposed to return to Rome on the 15th, so just 6 days afterwards, but they started canceling all the flights. So they canceled my flight as well. I needed to do was spend 2 weeks completely isolated. Fortunately, I live by myself. My parents live quite close by, so they filled my fridge before I arrived, and if I needed something else, they just left it at the door.
Je me suis rendu compte de la gravité de la situation seulement quand je suis entré en Italie, parce que je suis entré en Italie le jour du lockdown en France. Et jusqu'au jour du lockdown, honnêtement, je me sentais pas menacé, alors que là, je sens vraiment de la menace de ce virus. Après, dès que je suis en Italie, j'ai essayé de réduire au maximum toutes les sorties et on a la possibilité de sortir, mais j'ai décidé quand même de ne pas sortir et ça fait un peu du mal parce que j'ai ma copine, une famille très nombreuse. C'est pas facile du tout parce que la dernière fois que je les ai vus, c'était à Noël.
Life has changed totally. The situation for me personally is a little, I would say, disappointing because I arrived here in Rome in October. So I had the chance to see the city and the country and everything only from October until the beginning of March. People are nice and everybody's trying to help us or trying to help each other, and it's a great situation, to be honest. At least the solidarity is great over here.
In this moment, I'm not working because in all Italy there is a critical situation, as you know, maybe from the news on the TV. But we are under a thing that we call cassa integrazione. A lot of people are under this situation. That is like the company doesn't pay you, but the nation gives you the money for this moment. So I hope to be ready for work as soon as possible. I'm not an expert about Europe, how Europe works, but I have some things that I know and maybe how Europe is operating now. They are fighting each other like, oh, this option is better or maybe this option is better. But, I think they have to be faster than what they are doing. Maybe after we can chat, we can talk, and we can do everything to fix problems between themselves. But now I think that the priority is the health of the people of all Europe.
Je pense que tout le monde savait de cette situation. L'Italie aussi, avant que ça arrive, on savait déjà qu'est-ce qui se passait en Chine et on sait qu'il y a plein de Chinois qui arrivent en Italie. Du coup, on aurait pu anticiper, bien sûr. Ça, c'est vrai aussi pour les autres pays de l'Europe. Et là, je pense que le rôle de l'Union européenne, c'était un peu de chercher de faire comprendre aux pays vraiment la gravité de la situation, chercher d'aider les autres nations à anticiper. Mais de l'autre côté, je sais aussi que c'est pas quelque chose que l'Union européenne n'avait pas le pouvoir pour dire « Ok, non, il faut commencer un lockdown parmi toute l'Europe ».
Haven't understood what exactly the help will be. I think it still hasn't been exactly decided how this help will come into place. Of course, I hope that that it be able to help the economy, because Italy is one of the countries that has been hit the hardest. It was already in a bad situation before this whole situation started, and now it's even worse.
It's a crazy situation, and I think what is most interesting right now from an international policy perspective is how many actors are trying to influence certain countries by publicly delivering help, like China or Russia or the United States, who are really actively helping Italy. And I mean, they're doing this for a reason, and I think it's a pretty bad sign that up to now the European Union was not being able to compete with this aid, or if it did, it just had pretty bad public recognition of it. So either we're not helping as much as others, or we're not telling the public about it, and both is a problem. I really hope that we will learn from this, that we need each other, that this is one continent, and we have to stick together. We have so many cultures, we're so close, we're getting, over the last 60, 70 years since the last war in Europe, we've gotten so close, and it would be a shame if we lost that due to this pandemic. And I mean, it's a severe situation, but if we stand together, I think we will cope with it way better than if we let some other countries divide us.
Each country needed to close its frontiers, its barriers, and acted separately. And of course, there's a whole issue of mobility within the countries right now. And I think that at least in the very first aftermath of the situation, there will be a lot less people traveling within the different countries. There will probably be a lot more controls on the borders. And even if you want to travel, there will be still a lot of restrictions, and you'll have to do quarantine wherever you're going. So that's quite hard.
L'Union européenne, c'est un acteur qu'on ne voit pas. Je sais qu'il y a plein de choses qui sont faites au niveau européen, mais peut-être qu'il n'y a pas énormément de communication ou c'est aussi la faute individuelle de chaque personne qui ne s'informe pas. Mais je sens que même tous les millions d'euros qui sont mis à disposition pour la recherche, etc., de l'Union européenne, c'est quelque chose qu'on sait seulement si on s'informe. C'est pas quelque chose qu'on entend à la télé ou quand tu parles avec les autres. Là, j'imagine qu'il va y avoir encore plus de difficultés de se sentir citoyen européen, et ça va se refléter aussi dans les choix politiques qui sont faits dans chaque pays.
In Italy now, we have a very bad situation because a lot of companies are closing now, because of a lot of shops are thinking about how can I open with these strict rules and I cannot earn a lot of money, so I will close. That's the idea. So I think that Europe will be the balance of these the states that are better now, that are doing better, like I can say Germany, for example, and nations that are not in a good situation. I think that we have to help each other.